we developed the capacity for intelligent thought. And with that intelligent thought, we started to see that this individual human body is actually doing the thinking. And I can see the thoughts that's being generated. So it sort of turned itself around and went, well, this body needs to survive with an instinct for survival. And these thoughts are coming from this separate body. So that's a separate I. And from the age of 18 months, babies, children, they identify when they look in a mirror. They'll see in a mirror and they'll see that they, if someone points to them before that, it's just all the same thing. It's just life. But after that age, they identify as being a separate me, and that's mine and that's yours, and I'm different from you. And then the whole world just opens up that way in story. But it's all a thought story in the mind. It's an assumption that's never looked at. The assumption of being a separate I, me, up in the head, driving this thing somehow. And I'm a separate bit of life. I own this bit of life, which is kind of crazy because life is so infinitely, intelligently sort of blossoming everywhere. You've only got to walk down the street and look at trees and think, how does that happen? How does that intelligent, designed, mathematical, efficient, perfectly in harmony, how does that happen? That's what's happening here, there. And then we add the story of I, being a thought process, tangled thought process. We add that story of I and doing that. I'm replicating cells in my finger. I'm pumping blood. We don't think that. I'm growing hair. I'm, thinking. I'm changing cells. I'm fighting viruses. I'm doing whatever I'm doing. We don't think that I am really doing that. We kind of go, oh, it's happening. It's okay. Somehow that's happening. And that's kind of I, maybe. It must be sort of me, but it's not really. It's okay. I just won't look at that. But all the rest of the stuff, when I drive the car or when I say something that's stupid and somebody looks at me strangely, or when I do something really well and I'm so clever, or when I do something really badly and I'm so stupid, or I know what's going to happen. I'm planning ahead and I want life to do this, and then it doesn't go that way. So I have suffering. Most human beings have lived in suffering most of our lives, and it's because of identification as a separate I. There is life with all of its intelligence, with all of its experiences, doing this next and this next and this next. And it has always been that way. There's been intelligent life doing all of these things. And then the story chases, adds in a story. And they've proven it in scientific studies where they've gone, make a decision whether you're going to go left or right, say when you've done it. And the brain fires up and they know that the brain has made the decision based on, who knows, DNA and all the experiences in the human body, all that intelligence, the life that's doing this through this expression through this body, does all of that. And then it goes, decision, spontaneous decision. And then the same life goes, yep, I decided because I hadn't done that for a while and I decided to go left, and it makes the story up as well. So it makes the story up about how it did it, this entity that that's made up in thoughts anyway. And then it makes a story up of why it did it. So it's very, very clever. It's instantaneous almost. We've been doing it since we were, tiny, babies. So the human being's very, very proficient at doing this. And it's also part of the human being summarizing everything that's happening that it sees. The sensation comes in, the human being summarizes it into a pattern, makes it as simple as possible and says, okay, I'll conserve energy by assuming it's that. And that's what's going on with the separate self. Imagine that everything that's happening is energy, patterning, shaping, and forming, including thoughts in that saying I'm separate me, including thoughts in that saying I just had a thought that I didn't believe that. In all of that is the same isness, the complete fullness of this. And human beings are just one expression in that, but it's all the same life energy that is doing that everywhere. So every tree you see is actually aliveness, and it's the same aliveness that is animating this. It's the same aliveness that is having the thought processes, the same aliveness that is thinking it's having the thoughts. It's all one essence. And that is what you are. The human, and that's why, you know, it's often said, oh, you're never born and you don't die. The you that you think you are in your thoughts is delineated by the body. So it says, of course I was born. Of course I don't want to die. I really don't want to die. The essence of intelligent life that you are is expressing through the body. It's actually not coming from the body. The body is an expression of this completeness. Whatever this is can't be explained in words. This fullness, this intelligent, vibrant isness, which is completely it's never separate. Nothing is separated from anything. A butterfly beats its wings in the Amazon and it changes the shape of a snowflake in the Swiss Alps. It is all connected. Everything is the same. Whatever's happening here is completely connected, except the experience of being a separate self says, I'm doing this differently and separately. I is a thought. I is a bundle of thoughts. What we call you, me, I is basically separation created in thought. That's all. There is no separation here. And there doesn't even need to be understanding here today. There will be some thought processes and understanding. There'll be thoughts that say, I don't agree with that, or I do agree with that. I haven't got that, or I do have that. None of that actually is relevant. All that's happening here, there might be a resonance that kind of goes where life sort of is re-educating itself.